Thank you, Mr Chairman. This bill is one of a number of moves needed to improve the rights of victims and support them where they have been subjected to violence. Fear and anxiety about unwanted contact with the offender can be as bad as the offence itself and can impair the recovery and ability to enjoy a normal life. In part one, I wish to comment only briefly on Clause 5. It defines a violent offender as a person who has been convicted of a violent offence that affected the victim and has been sentenced to a term of imprisonment for 2 years or more. As introduced in the bill, this was 5 years or more, and we regarded that as narrowing the field down far too much. And I think that's what other parties have concluded as well. Instead of requiring sentencing to a period of 5 years or more, I suggested at that stage that it would be more appropriate instead to require only sentencing of an offence punishable by 5 years imprisonment or more, and that would have broadened the scope of the legislation to capture offenders whose sentences were less than 5 years but who had committed an offence serious enough to enable a court to sentence for 5 years or more. The Select Committee has now instead amended the definition to more than 2 years sentence, 2 years or more. And that, of course, is the other way, which would substantially widen the offences to which the section would be applicable. And I agree with what the Honourable Phil Goff said about that. The number of offences to which it would have applied were far too few. The scope was far too narrow. What has been done now, although it didn't adopt my own suggestion, is sensible and acceptable to New Zealand First. After all, if the offence was so serious as to attract a significant imprisonment term at all, then the victim should be able to use this new law. It's another step forward for victims, and it deserves our full support. We support what has been done, even though it wasn't New Zealand First's own particular suggestion that was adopted. It has the same effect, and therefore we feel able to support that particular provision in Part 1, which we had previously been concerned about.
Mr Chair.
I call the honourable member Raymond Ho.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This bill aims